How many times have you told yourself, I just can't do it? How many times have you backed down when it got tough? Listen to me. Right now, in this moment, you are at war with your limits. And if you don't take control, they will bury you alive. The truth? Your limits are an illusion, a prison built by fear, doubt, and hesitation. But there's a way out, a way to break free, to unleash power you didn't even know existed within you. It all starts with one thing: relentless action. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Are you ready to burn the excuses and take back your power? Then let's go. Habits. 1, the power of decision. Every transformation, every breakthrough, every extraordinary success begins with a single undeniable force: the power of decision. It's not just about making choices, it's about making real decisions, decisions that cut off all other possibilities, leaving no room for retreat. Most people don't actually decide. They think, they wish, they hope, but they don't commit. And that's why they stay stuck. A true decision is not passive. It's not something you make lightly or casually. It's the moment when you burn the bridges behind you, eliminating any path of retreat. It's when you tell yourself with absolute certainty, I don't care how hard it gets, I don't care what stands in my way, this is happening. When you make a decision at that level, something shifts inside you, your energy changes, your focus intensifies, your actions align with your commitment, and suddenly, what once seemed impossible starts to become inevitable. Most people think they are held back by circumstances, lack of resources, lack of time, lack of knowledge. But that's not the truth. What really holds them back is a lack of true decision. They leave themselves an out. They keep one foot in and one foot out, hoping that maybe if the stars align, if conditions are perfect, then they'll go all in. But that's not how transformation works. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You create it. Look at any person who has achieved something massive, something that defied the odds. They weren't the smartest. They weren't the luckiest. They weren't the most talented. They were simply the ones who decided fully, completely, without hesitation, that they were going to make it happen. And once that decision was made, they refused to entertain any other outcome. When you make a real decision, you stop negotiating with yourself. You stop making excuses. You stop letting fear dictate your actions. Instead, you operate from a place of certainty. And that certainty propels you forward no matter what obstacles arise. Because here's the truth. Obstacles don't stop you. Fear doesn't stop you. Doubt doesn't stop you. The only thing that stops you is a lack of decision. Think about a time in your life when you absolutely had to do something, when you had no choice but to take action. Maybe it was a situation where you had to step up for your family, or you had to push through despite fear, or you had to make something work because failure simply wasn't an option. In those moments, you didn't hesitate, you didn't overthink, you acted with clarity and certainty because you had made a real decision. That same power is available to you right now. The only difference is whether you access it. Habits, 2.kill, comfort, embrace growth. Comfort is the silent killer of potential. It's deceptive because it feels good, it feels safe. It's the warm cocoon that tells you, stay here, don't push too hard, don't risk too much. But comfort is also the place where dreams wither and die. The moment you get too comfortable is the moment you stop growing, and the moment you stop growing, you start dying inside, your passion fades, your drive weakens, and your hunger disappears. Growth never happens in the comfort zone. Every great breakthrough, every extraordinary achievement, every next level of success exists outside of what feels easy. That's why the most successful people are the ones who deliberately seek discomfort. They don't wait for things to be convenient. They don't wait for the right time. They put themselves in situations where they are forced to grow, forced to adapt, forced to become something greater than they were yesterday. The problem with comfort is that it creates a false sense of security. You think you're fine. You think you're safe. But what you don't realize is that staying comfortable is actually the most dangerous thing you can do. Because the world doesn't stop moving. If you're not growing, you're falling behind. If you're not challenging yourself, you're getting weaker. And if you're not pushing past what feels easy, you are slowly becoming a version of yourself that settles for less. The people who achieve greatness, who build unstoppable momentum, who break their limits, they have one thing in common. They have learned to make discomfort their new normal. They wake up early when they don't feel like it. They push their bodies when they're exhausted. They put themselves in situations that scare them because they know that fear is a compass pointing toward growth. They train their minds to crave challenge instead of avoid it. Think about the moments in your life when you grew the most. Were they easy? Were they comfortable? No. They were the moments where you were forced to stretch beyond what you thought was possible. Maybe it was stepping into a role you didn't feel ready for. Maybe it was speaking up when your voice was shaking. Maybe it was taking a risk that terrified you. But after you did it, something changed. You became stronger, more confident, more capable. That's the power of embracing growth. Most people live their lives trying to avoid pain, trying to avoid struggle. But the truth is, pain is the gateway to power. The most successful people don't run from discomfort, they chase it. They know that every time they lean into what scares them, every time they push beyond what's easy, they unlock a new level of themselves. They don't wait for life to push them, they push themselves first because they understand that the only way to become unstoppable is to train themselves to thrive in discomfort. Habits 3. Your mind is the battlefield. Your mind is the ultimate battlefield, and every single day you are at war. The war isn't happening outside of you, it's happening inside. It's happening in the thoughts you entertain, the beliefs you hold, and the stories you tell yourself about what's possible. Most people don't even realize they are fighting this battle, and that's why they lose. They let their minds be controlled by fear, doubt, and limitation. They don't take control, they react. And when you react, instead of taking control, you become a prisoner of your own mind. Every action you take, every result you create, every limit you break, it all starts in your mind. Your mind determines how you see the world. Your mind determines whether you push forward or back down. Your mind determines whether you take action or make excuses. And the most dangerous thing you can do is let negative, limiting beliefs take root in your mind, because once they do, they control you. The battlefield is your thoughts. The enemy is the voice in your head that tells you, you can't do this, you're not good enough, you're not ready. That voice is a liar. That voice wants you to stay small. That voice will tell you every reason why you should quit, why you should give up, why you should stay in your comfort zone. And if you listen to it, you lose. You lose opportunities, you lose momentum, you lose years of your life to fear and hesitation. But the moment you take control of your mind, everything changes. Because if you control your mind, you control your actions, and if you control your actions, you control your future. The strongest people in the world, the ones who achieve the impossible, who break barriers, who turn nothing into greatness, they all mastered their minds before they mastered their results. They didn't wait for confidence, they created it. They didn't wait for the right moment, they made the moment right by shifting their mindset. Your thoughts are like seeds. If you plant doubt, you grow hesitation. If you plant fear, you grow paralysis. But if you plant certainty, you grow action. If you plant determination, you grow resilience. If you plant power, you grow an unstoppable force that no obstacle can break. That's why every single day you must guard your mind like a warrior. You must reject the thoughts that weaken you and replace them with thoughts that empower you. Habit 4. Action over everything. Action is the great separator. It's the difference between people who dream and people who achieve. It's the one thing that cuts through doubt, fear, hesitation, and uncertainty. You can have the best ideas, the most detailed plans, the most inspiring vision, but if you don't take action, none of it matters. Action is what turns thoughts into reality. It's what transforms potential into results. It's what builds momentum, shapes destiny, and creates unstoppable success. Most people get stuck in the cycle of thinking. They overanalyze, they hesitate, they wait for the perfect time, they tell themselves they need to learn more, prepare more, get ready, when in reality, all they're doing is procrastinating. They convince themselves that they're being smart, that they're playing it safe, but what they're really doing is avoiding the one thing that creates change: action. The problem is that the mind is wired for self-preservation. It will come up with every excuse possible to keep you from taking action. It will tell you you're not ready. It will tell you to wait until you feel more confident. It will tell you that you don't have enough experience, that you're not good enough yet. But confidence doesn't come before action. Confidence comes from action. You don't get good and then start. You start and then you get good. The people who succeed in any field are not always the smartest. They're not always the most talented. They are simply the ones who take action when others hesitate. They are the ones who step forward when everyone else is standing still. They are the ones who say, I may not know everything, but I'm going to start anyway. And because of that, they learn faster, they grow stronger, and they create opportunities that never would have existed if they had waited. The truth is, action beats everything else. It beats fear, because the moment you start moving, fear loses its grip. It beats failure, because every failure teaches you something and moves you forward. It beats doubt, because when you're in motion, you don't have time to second guess yourself. And it beats talent, because someone with average ability but relentless action will always outperform someone with talent who hesitates. There is no such thing as the right time. There is only now. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start. The more you think, the more reasons you'll find to put it off. That's why the most successful people don't waste time analyzing every possibility. They move. They figure it out as they go. They understand that the only way to get better, to learn faster, to become more powerful, is to take action before they feel ready. Action creates momentum, and momentum is what separates those who stay stuck from those who break through. When you take consistent action, daily, relentlessly, without excuse, you build habits that make success inevitable. You train your brain to default to movement instead of hesitation. You rewire yourself to attack challenges instead of avoiding them. And over time, you become the kind of person who doesn't just think about success, you create it. People talk about motivation like it's the key, but motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. Some days you'll feel fired up, and other days you won't. But if you train yourself to take action no matter how you feel, you won't need motivation. You'll have something stronger: momentum, discipline, and the unshakable habit of doing what needs to be done. That's what separates the winners from everyone else. That's what turns dreams into reality. That's what makes you unstoppable. Habit 5, fail forward, fail faster. Failure is not the enemy. In fact, failure is the most powerful teacher you will ever have. The problem is that most people don't see it that way. They're taught to fear failure, to avoid it at all costs, to see it as a sign that they're not good enough or that they should give up. But that mindset is what keeps people stuck. That mindset is what stops people from ever reaching their full potential. Because the truth is, the faster you fail, the faster you learn. And the faster you learn, the faster you grow. Every person who has ever achieved anything great has one thing in common. They failed more times than anyone else. They weren't afraid to fall. They weren't afraid to look stupid. They weren't afraid to take a risk and get it wrong. And because of that, they figured things out faster. They improved faster. They adapted faster. The people who win in life are not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who fail the most and keep going. Most people let failure define them. They take a hit, and instead of using it as feedback, they make it personal. They say, I failed, so that must mean I'm not good enough. That must mean I'm not capable. That must mean I'm not cut out for this. But that's a lie. Failure doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means you're growing. It means you're pushing yourself. It means you're in the process of becoming something greater. The only way to never fail is to never try, and that is the greatest failure of all. Think about a child learning to walk. They fall over and over again, but they don't stop trying. They don't sit down and say, maybe walking just isn't for me. They keep getting up, they keep adjusting, and eventually they figure it out. That same process applies to everything in life. The only difference is that as we get older, we let our egos get in the way. We let embarrassment stop us. We let fear of judgment hold us back. But if you want to achieve something extraordinary, you have to drop that fear. You have to be willing to fail in front of people. You have to be willing to look like a beginner, to make mistakes, to get knocked down over and over again. Because the more you fail, the more you learn. And the more you learn, the better you get. Every failure contains a lesson. Every failure reveals a weakness that needs to be strengthened. Every failure is a step forward, if you're willing to see it that way. That's why the most successful people chase failure. They don't avoid it, they seek it out. They know that the only way to master something is to go through the process of getting it wrong over and over again until they get it right. But the key is failing fast. Too many people sit in their failure. They dwell on it. They let it define them. They take months or even years to recover from one mistake. But the people who break through, they fail fast. They take the hit, extract the lesson, and move on immediately. They don't let failure slow them down. They use it to speed up their progress. The faster you fail, the faster you grow. The more mistakes you make, the more knowledge you gain. And the more knowledge you gain, the closer you get to mastery. The people who succeed at the highest level are the ones who take action quickly, make mistakes quickly, and adjust quickly. They don't waste time worrying about getting it perfect. They don't sit around waiting for the right moment. They jump in, they mess up, they learn, and they keep going. And because of that, they get better at a rate that others can't even comprehend. They compress time. They do in months what others take years to do, because they understand that failure is not something to fear. It's the fastest way to success. Habit 6, relentless momentum. Momentum is the force that separates the unstoppable from the average. It is what allows some people to break through barriers, smash goals, and achieve things that seem impossible, while others stay stuck, repeating the same patterns over and over again. Momentum is not just about moving. It's about building a force so powerful that nothing can stop you. It's about being relentless, about stacking win after win, about creating so much energy and motion that success becomes inevitable. Most people start strong, but they don't keep going. They get excited, they feel motivated, they take action for a few days, maybe even a few weeks, but then something happens. Life gets in the way. Challenges show up. Their emotions shift. And suddenly they slow down. They lose their drive. They stop doing the things that were moving them forward. And once they stop, they find themselves back at zero, trying to start all over again. This is the cycle that keeps people stuck. Constant stopping and starting, never building enough momentum to break through. But the people who succeed at the highest level, they don't stop. They don't allow emotions, circumstances, or temporary failures to dictate their actions. They keep moving no matter what. They build relentless momentum, and once they get moving, nothing slows them down. They understand that success isn't about intensity for a short burst. It's about sustained action, about consistency, about never losing speed once you've started. Momentum is a habit. It's a way of operating. It's about training yourself to take action every single day, no matter how you feel. It's about showing up when you're tired, pushing forward when you don't feel like it, and refusing to let anything break your rhythm. Because momentum isn't something that happens to you, it's something you create. Think about a heavy train sitting on the tracks. If it's at a dead stop, even a small block in front of the wheels can keep it from moving. But once that train builds speed, once it's flying down the tracks at full force, that same block won't even slow it down. In fact, even a massive obstacle won't stop it. It will smash through anything in its way. That is the power of momentum. When you start, things feel difficult. You have to push hard just to get a little movement. But if you keep pushing, if you refuse to stop, eventually you hit a point where nothing can slow you down. Most people never get to that level because they allow small setbacks to break their momentum. They hit one obstacle and take a break. They face resistance and decide to pause. But the people who build relentless momentum, they don't give themselves the option to stop. They don't negotiate with themselves. They don't say, I'll do it when I feel motivated. They do it whether they feel like it or not. They take action so consistently that movement becomes automatic. And that's the real key. Momentum must become a way of life. It can't be something you turn on and off whenever it's convenient. You must train yourself to keep moving, to keep stacking small wins, to keep pushing forward no matter what. Every action you take builds momentum. Every decision you make either moves you forward or slows you down. And the more relentless you become in maintaining that momentum, the more unstoppable you become. Most people think success is about talent, luck, or intelligence, but it's not. It's about movement. It's about refusing to slow down. It's about pushing yourself to keep going even when most people would quit. Because the reality is, once you have momentum on your side, success is no longer a question of if, but when. At the end of the day, everything comes down to one thing: relentless action. Breaking your limits isn't about wishing, hoping, or waiting for the perfect moment. It's about making the decision to push forward, to embrace discomfort, to master your mind, and to move with unstoppable momentum. You must kill comfort and chase growth, because the life you want exists on the other side of what feels easy. You must take control of your mind, because that's where the real battle is fought. You must stop hesitating and start taking massive action, because action is the key that unlocks everything. And when you fail, and you will fail, you must fail fast, fail forward, and use every setback as fuel to rise stronger. But most importantly, you must never stop. Momentum is your greatest ally. Once you build it, guard it with everything you have. Keep pushing, keep grinding, keep stacking win after win. Because when you commit to relentless action, when you refuse to slow down, when you embody the mindset of someone who's truly unstoppable, there are no limits, only levels waiting to be conquered